Alright, welcome back everybody to YouTube channel BTCTV, and we are starting this video at Malta Island because just in couple of hours Malta AI Blockchain Summit Spring Edition 2019 is going to be started, and hopefully we will meet interesting famous people in blockchain industry. Hopefully we can meet great companies in it and make interesting video about it. So let's get started this video and you'll find out more about this conference. Are you ready? Let's go. Alright, welcome back to YouTube channel BTCTV, and we continue to do videos from Malta Blockchain Summit. Today I'm happy to present to you Miko Matsumura again one more time. Thanks Miko to our channel.
It's a pleasure.
We are meeting a second time at Malta, and why you decided to come this year again for the second time?
Yeah, Malta is a regionally strategic geography with a very interesting VFA regulatory framework. So, you know, as far as the blockchain is concerned, this really is a blockchain island. So I think Malta is definitely unique and a worthwhile environment if you're investing.
I see. We created first your interview approximately more than 6 months ago. What happened during the last 6 months in your life, in your business life?
Yeah, so I would say the two biggest things are Evercoin Exchange. So
Yes.
Evercoin Exchange has kind of gotten much further progressed in the regulatory framework. So we're now exchanging fiat to crypto in the United States, which is a difficult regulatory environment. So I think we're really making advancements with the exchange. The other one is, of course, the Gumi Cryptos Venture Fund. So we've been allocating capital at a rate of maybe about 1 check per month. So, you know, we continue to invest, and in our mindset, if we're providing 24 months of runway per investment, you know, with our co-investors, we're in some ways dollar cost averaging sort of a market bottom, assuming that the market bottom takes less than like 2 years to emerge, right? So because of that, we're exposing ourselves to startup equity, and we're basically building a portfolio, while others are mostly kind of fearful and kind of staying out of the market. So I think that that's been helping us a lot in terms of increasing our notoriety and our brand as investors, because we're of course boldly continuing to write checks even as the market has been sliding. And now the market's recovering, which I think is actually supporting our thesis. So it's making us, I think, look a little bit smarter, even though it may be that we're just lucky.
I see. You mentioned, yes, everybody's mentioned that market recovered. Brock Pierce just finished his speech and said that winter is over, spring came.
Yes.
In your opinion, really the bear market is over and we see the recovery?
My thesis is that we're in what I call Bitcoin Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Right? And Bitcoin Game of Thrones, if you look at Bitcoin dominance, it's above 50%.
Yes.
Right? People really feel that there is a strong pull towards Bitcoin as the most trustworthy because it's the least trusting, right? Bitcoin doesn't trust anyone. No endpoint trusts any node, and no node trusts any other node, and no node trusts any endpoint. So like it's completely trustless because of lack of trust, right? So people are withdrawing back to Bitcoin, but the thing that I think is natural is the power law distribution. So in the Bitcoin Game of Thrones, the winner is sitting on the Iron Throne, which is currently Bitcoin. To me, the winner will continue to play in the attention economy. So I think that what we're going to see is more like a crying baby, right? Which is that the more Bitcoin goes high and goes low and goes high and goes low, the more it's able to command attention, right? So to me, this is what I call the W or multi-W shaped thesis, right? So I think we're going to continue to see channels that are forming, right? That set brackets, right? So we're going to see we're going to see descending triangle patterns, right? So we're going to see ups and downs. It's going to be like W, W, W. It's not going to be like, you know, V, right? So that's my thesis.
I see. Now let's talk about your foundation, which you say also Gumtree, right? What criteria you are using for finding companies? Right?
Yeah. So really, like the biggest thing for us is team. So we're very interested in like the strongest teams. We do feel that there's fungibility between team and traction. So if you're a young first-time entrepreneur, then we really want to see more traction. And when I say traction, I'm not talking about ICO or fundraising. I'm talking about users. I'm talking about revenues. I'm talking about like a real business, right? So, but if you look at the way we look at teams, right, in some ways the past, which is an imperfect sort of predictor of the future, but that's all we have, is we look to see if the team has like scaled the company successfully, if it's done a big exit, if the team has raised money. Like all of these past performances tend to strengthen a team, right? And then of course the absence of such past performances then can be replaced by traction, right? So if you're a first-time entrepreneur, of course we'll be able to invest in you, but we really want to see results. We want to see more evidence, because of course all we have is evidence. So we really want to get conviction by understanding the evidence.
I see. Also, during the last 6 months, it was very big one movement about Bitcoin SV.
Yes.
And Binance right now, for a couple weeks ago, get rid of it. What is your comment on that? Do you have idea why they created? Do you think this is a good move or not good move about Bitcoin SV?
Well, so let me kind of give you the politically correct version and then the incorrect version, right? So the politically correct version is that Satoshi loves all Bitcoins and Satoshi loves all coins, because everything is like forking and everything is the children of Bitcoin, right? Because Satoshi designed an open source forkable protocol, and so the fact that it's forking is actually not a bug. It is a feature, right? So the existence of Bitcoin SV is something that Satoshi anticipated and predicted, not in its specific form. So Satoshi didn't say, I mean, if you believe Craig Wright is Satoshi, then you're stupid. But like, you know, it isn't that he specifically said Bitcoin SV will be a thing, but he really more said, I'm designing this to do anything, right? And I think Satoshi even imagined that there would be like shit coins that were Bitcoin forks as well as good ones, and that it would just be like wild competition between them all. So the politically correct way of looking at it is all children of Bitcoin are equal in the eyes of Satoshi, right? You know, some of them are cranky and they cry, and others are strong and they, right? But that's the politically correct answer. Politically incorrect answer is that I think we've reached a point in the economy which is what I would call peak attention extraction. So we're in an attention economy, and if you look at things like politicians, or if you look at people like Craig Wright, like the crying babies are actually the ones that are getting the most attention, and then they're harvesting the attention, right? So they're extracting the value. So essentially they're exploiting an asymmetry in the way that social networks and the way that like money is flowing today, right? So I think really it's kind of an exploit in a certain way, and it's really not about the primary generation of value. It's more about exploiting people's attention. So to me, I would look for more kind of I would look at more networks from the perspective of value, long-term value creation, rather than short-term exploitation.
Thanks for that. And before we finish, the last question regarding ICOs and STOs. We already mentioned that 6 months ago, or a little bit discussed it with you. Now, 6 months has passed by. Still, what is your opinion about security tokens and utility initial?
Yeah. So for me, I still hold that there are security tokens versus utility tokens is a very bad discussion, and it's a bad discussion because security token is a regulatory phrase, and utility token is a taxonomic or classification phrase. So I really look at it as asset backing versus service backing. Right? And if you look at that polarity from an investment perspective, like we do invest in securities, which is equity, startup equity, right? And the fact that whether it's a tokenized security or a non-tokenized security, like it actually doesn't matter to us. But 99% of so-called security tokens or asset-backed, regulated asset-backed tokens are actually not interesting to us as investors because we're venture investors. So if we wanted to invest in an oil rig or gold, or if we would in real estate, we would invest in those things directly. So the existence of a token or a non-token is not material to us, right? So really the only class of security that our venture fund would invest in is startup equity, which we're already investing without token. So to me, I feel like security token is kind of like not of interest to me as a venture investor, because we're already investing in securities that are called startup equities, right? So we're already investing in equity. So to me, the so-called utility token or service-backed thesis is actually more interesting to us, and we feel like those are the ones that have the greater propensity to generate kind of unicorn-sized companies.
I see. All right, Miko, thanks a lot for coming to
Of
us,
course.
and wishing you good luck with what you are doing. Well, we are back from Malta Blockchain Summit, and we continue to do videos, interviews with top people in blockchain industry. Well, Billy, thanks for coming to our TV show again one more time. We met with you in Singapore in Block Show in
last
end,
fall.
yes.
Yeah.
Now you are here at Malta. Why you are here? Decided to come?
So I was invited here to be a speaker at the Malta Blockchain
Summit.
Yeah, Blockchain Summit.
This is first time you're here in Malta.
First time in Malta. Very excited. Beautiful place.
Very
Mediterranean weather. It's my first time. It's just gorgeous. Love it, and also love the participation. A lot of interest. I think this is a very good regulatory region for blockchain cryptocurrency.
What happened maybe in your opinion in industry, blockchain industry during the last 6 months? We have seen Bitcoin SV, for example. We've seen that market recovered a little bit. In your opinion, for example, winter is over.
Yeah, I think winter's over. Look at the sunshine. but we're still. I mean, the snow is still melting. It's not. We're not completely out of the woods yet. I think we're on the way back to marching towards the previous high, $20,000 US. It might take a few more months. It might take into next year. But certainly, I think by end of next year, by end of 2020, by late 2021, I think we'll have certainly reached past the new high. Last high and reached new highs.
I see. Actually, we spoke with Brock Pierce a couple minutes ago, and he said that we haven't seen even the highest high in blockchain industry, because what they did during the .com area, those highs, it's not even like close to when we saw $20,000 market cap with blockchain currencies. So, in my opinion, do you still believe that, for example, that you are still bullish that we can see, for example, price of Bitcoin 100,000?
Absolutely. I think Bitcoin long term, let's say a 20-year horizon, I think it should match or even exceed the value of gold. The value of gold is at $8 trillion. So Bitcoin today is only 100 billion. So it could go up at least another 80 times in today's price. So it could definitely go past $500,000 per Bitcoin, or even eventually $1 million per Bitcoin.
And that's why what you said actually in Singapore, it doesn't matter what price you're right now buying Bitcoin, because still.
Technically I'm not buying Bitcoin every day. I'm not doing that. I already invested in Bitcoin. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what price. If people who don't own any Bitcoin believe in the message that Bitcoin as a digital currency is here for the rest of humanity, then it's the right time to come in, regardless, because we're still so early.
I see. Let's speak a little about regulations, because everybody is waiting for regulations to be live, and that mass adoption after that will be more broad. So, in your opinion, when we will be able to see that regulations?
Well, it's happening every year. It's happening whether it's regulating exchanges, regulating stable coins, regulating ETFs, regulating Bitcoin investment funds. It's happening every day, every year. I think there's no magic time where regulation is done.
Okay.
Or like, this is all before regulation. So it's just gradual. It's a gradual process that could take 10 years, 20 years to mature.
I see. And last question, Bobby, what is your opinion? Because everybody has rumors about Facebook coin, right?
Oh, yeah.
That Facebook will make their own coin. First of all, do you believe that they will do this? And secondly, if they will do you think that they can beat Bitcoin?
Okay, so if Facebook launches a coin, it will be a token. It will be a token backed by Facebook, the company. To me, that's not very interesting.
Okay.
They're certainly right to do whatever they want, but to me, that's not even close to what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is a global decentralized asset that has no backing, that has no intrinsic backing by anyone, right? So, and it's decentralized. It's not centrally controlled. So the fact that Facebook's coin will be called Facebook coin It's a centralized coin issued, controlled by Facebook, where the value is dependent on Facebook, the company.
So holders of Bitcoin doesn't need to worry about.
It's different. It's like saying Hilton, the hotel, launched their new rewards program called Hilton Honors. You know, what does it have to do with Bitcoin? Nothing. Hilton can be very successful, and Bitcoin can be very successful. It's independent. Yeah.
All right, Bobby. Thanks for coming, and to see you around.
Right, the first day of Malta Blockchain Summit came to the end, and as you can see, we made great interviews with the famous people in blockchain industry. And tomorrow, hopefully, we will present you great companies which are participating in Malta AI Blockchain Summit. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel BTCTV for such more videos. Bye for now.